Hello, Michael here, and this time we're going to be looking at 3 ways to multiply. And I'm going to multiply a 3-digit number, 326, by a 2-digit number, 42. I'm going to say there are 3 ways of doing it. Number 1, long multiplication. Number 2, the grid method of multiplication. And 3, Gelosia method of multiplication. And we'll see that they are actually all the same thing. They're just slightly different ways of doing things. So let's do number 1 first. So I'm going to multiply 326 by 2 first of all. So 2 6s are 12, 2 down, 1 to carry, 2 2s 4, got 1 there, so that's 5, 2 3s are 6, there we go. So 326 times 2 is 652. Now the next thing to do is to multiply by this 4. But of course this really means 40, doesn't it? So I'll multiply by 10 by putting that 0 down, and now I just need to worry about multiplying by 4. So 4 times 6, 24. 4 down, 2 to carry. 4 2s are 8. We've got 2 here, that's 10. So 0 down, 1 to carry there. 4 3s 12, plus the 1 here, 13. So this line is 326 multiplied by 40. So now we add them together. 0 2 2, 4 and 5, 9, 0 6 6, and the 13 there. So the answer, 326 multiplied by 42, is 13,692. Let's check that on the calculator and see if it's right. So 326 times 42 equals, there it is, 13,692. Right, now let's do exactly the same calculation using the grid method. In this case we write the number as 300 plus 20 plus 6, and the number 42 as 40 plus 2. Now what we do is, in this rectangle here, we multiply the 300 by the 40 and put the answer there. What we really do is say, okay, 3 times 4 is 12, and I've got 1 2 3 zeros, so that's 12,000. 2 times 4 is 8, I've got 1 2 zeros, so that's 800. 6 times 4 is 24, I've got 1 0 there, so that's 240. So 240 add 800 is 1040, add 12,000 is 13,040. Now we do the same here. 3 times 2 is 6, 2 zeros, so that's 600. 2 times 2 is 4, 1 0, so that's 40. 6 times 2 is 12. So adding up this way, 640, add 12, 652. And of course when we add those up, we get 13,692. Exactly the same as we've got there. So you can see that this line is replicated here. This line is replicated here. So they are exactly the same way of doing the same sum. They're just a slightly different layout. Now this method, Gelosia, is another way, again, of doing exactly the same thing. But we don't need to worry about these zeros. And the reason for that is because the digits are placed in the right place automatically along these diagonals. Let's see how that works. So in this box here, got 6 times 2 is 12, and we put 1 up there and 2 down there. Now here we've got 2 times 2 is 4, we write that as 0, 4. And here we've got 3 times 2 is 6, and we write that as 0, 6. Now what we've got along this diagonal, we've got the units. Along this diagonal we've got the tens, and on this diagonal we've got the hundreds. So that 6 means 600. That 4 means 4 tens. And that 1, 2 means 1 10 and 2 units. Do you notice how the digits are placed in exactly the right place automatically? So now let's do the top line. 6 times 4, 24. 4 times 2 is 8, so that's 0, 8. 4 times 3 is 12, 1, 2. And again, notice this 24 actually means 240. That's 2 hundreds, 4 tens, and of course 0 units. Right, now, in order to get the answer, we have to add up along these diagonals. So here we've got 2. 4 add 1 add 4 is 9. 2 add 8 is 10. Add 6 is 16. 6 down, carry 1 up here. So that's 1 add 2 gives me 3. 1 here, 1. So the answer is 13692. 13,692. So there we are, 3 different ways of multiplying a 3-digit number by a 2-digit number. And of course you can apply this to any number of digits, and as long as you're careful you'll always get the right answer. And you can choose the method that you prefer: long multiplication, grid, or gelosia. This one is probably the most commonly used by older people. This one's very nice because it shows precisely what's going on, and this one's very nice because it puts the digits in exactly the right place value automatically. Anyway, you decide which you like, which you prefer, which you want to use, and have fun with it. And remember, I'm sorry if I get boring when I say this, but the learning, there it is, the learning is in the doing. So if you want to get good at doing any of these, you simply need to practice. Practice by doing. Have fun with it.